My name is Hegemonia Ikonen, and I'm here today with the in-game leader of Elite Klan Violet, Jodiee Billington. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. I just have a coffee, so I'm awake.
Yeah, it's a bit early for UK time. Or almost midday here in Finland, but we'll get it started. Before we talk about the main point of this interview and the most recent news, I want to touch on a bit on the first 6 months of 2024. Obviously, you now played with Team Violet for 6 or 7 months, pretty much.
Yeah, roughly around that. Yeah.
And unluckily you didn't qualify to ESL Impact Season 5 through the Open qualifiers. But unlike most other teams, you made the decision to stick as a squad, as a group, and keep playing. What were kind of the main reasons behind that decision on staying as a core?
Well, when we first started, we were all sort of in agreement that we wanted to, stick through the hard times, stay together, be consistent. Because a lot of teams in Impact, and I think just in general in all kind of leagues, as soon as there's any kind of hardship, people give up and people want to seek options, which is I can understand, but I also feel like it's sometimes not the most logical thing to do. I understand if sometimes there's chemistry problems and conflicts within teams that make people want to leave, but as soon as we all sort of got to know each other at the start, we were all just instantly friends, and we all had respect for each other, and we all believed in the project. And so we believed that consistency is key, and if you stick through the hard times and you keep grinding, your strength will only grow as a team.
Yeah, I mean, you've had, I'd say, better results than the Open qualifiers ever since then. Obviously, you made a few changes afterwards. I think around March, you brought in a new AWPer, and around the same time, you also switched your role towards the in-game leader role. And well, you mentioned in an article by UKCSGO that you got some help, or you were helped by the fact that you were talking or playing with other UK in-game leaders. How's that been afterwards, now that you've had more time as an in-game leader? Are you still talking with them and getting more tips and tricks, or are you just more focused on your own style of calling?
Well, one of them decided to move to Australia and stop playing CS. So I still message him from time to time, and he spoke a little bit about IGLing with me when I first started. And that's I mentioned his name, Sash. That's Sash. But LTH, Lorenzo, I sometimes message him, ask him for advice and help. But yeah, I played a lot with both of them. But when I say played a lot, it was never in a team. It was mostly just pugs. But I really liked that IGLing, and also they played with me when I was really low elo and still very inexperienced as a player. So I was playing in these high 2k almost 3k elo lobbies as a level 7, and it was hard at first, but they taught me a lot, and I really liked they gave me guidance of their in-game leading, and I feel because of them I improved in such a short amount of space. And so when I had the opportunity to take over IGLing, it was something that I'd always sort of dabbled in and been maybe I'd want to try it, but I think it was just a sort of lack of confidence. I was oh, I don't know if I'll be good enough. But then I was my hand was sort of forced to take it. So I was just okay, I'll give this a go. And literally from the beginning, I enjoyed it so much. I felt it just clicked and it worked, and it felt nice to be able to sort of play CS the way that I like to play and mold all of my players around them, and I understood how the girls played and what their play style was, and I feel I've done a pretty good job at allowing them to play that specific way, as well as playing each map how I like to play. And there was kind of a rough time. At first I was absolutely loving it, and then there was a time where I was having difficulty. I think it was after the whole hype of new player, new role.
Mm-hmm.
Da, 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 da. We discovered we got lots of new strats. It was all exciting, and then it just sort of like died down where it was a bit stale. And also, I'd been working as well a lot, so it's super hard to come home from like 9 hours in the office talking to
Mm-hmm.
people all day to then come back and constantly talk. And I was like, sort of thinking to myself, I was like, I don't know if I've made the right decision. But I didn't want to give up at all. I didn't want to give up, and I stuck through it. And it feels like it's gotten to a point where I feel good about it again, and I feel confident about calling. So I just always try and like say to myself, like, the tough times don't last.
You joined Elite Clan. You are now Elite Clan Violet. And I think the main question or the initial question is, why did you choose Elite Clan? Because of your performances and your social media presence, I would assume you also had other options down the line.
Yeah, we did have quite a few options, and we were like in talk with like various other orgs. But we didn't want to just go with something and run. We wanted to like take our time with our decision and make sure that it's something right for us. We didn't want to go to an org just to, like, slap an org name
Mm-hmm.
on like our team name or anything like that. Um, and a lot of the orgs that approached us, um, they didn't really like sell anything that like unique or interesting. And also, like, I know it's silly, but like some of us are super like into like branding and how like a brand
Mm-hmm.
look and the whole aesthetic of it, and we didn't really find anything that we liked um until uh Volley approached us with Elite Clan. And I mean, their branding it's super clean. We think it just looks sick and fresh. And the way that he explained like how they would do business and stuff was just like unique and different compared to other orgs. They don't really want to do any gambling stuff, which is something that I feel quite strongly personal about.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they don't want to take up any kind of gambling sponsors because I'm quite against that myself. And they want to focus on like content creation and like community building, which I think is I think a lot of orgs don't really do that, and it's more just uh, we need results. Our team needs to win, prize money, all of
Yeah.
that. So uh, and they've already shown like our team like an immense amount of support, because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
when orgs pick up female teams, I feel like they're just sort of brushed to the side a little bit and forgotten about, and then not really like posted about on any
Yeah.
kind of social medias. Whereas like they are streaming our games, tweeting about us constantly, tweeting at us, asking people to support us. So it's really nice to not feel ignored.
When it comes to like in the server, I think obviously the main goal will be qualifying for ESL Impact season 6 through the open qualifiers. How do you see your chances in the open qualifiers? And I think, what would you say are the main favorites that could go through the qualifiers? Because there are some notable names who are not currently in the league.
Um, So yeah, it is our goal to qualify. I think we definitely have much better chance now than we did last time,
Mm-hmm.
because we had like less than a month to prepare, and we sort of just rushed through all the maps
Yeah.
in before the last qualifier. Whereas this time we've had months, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months
Yeah.
to go through all the maps. And we've got pretty much everything down on every map. Um, so we definitely feel more prepared. We're more used to how each other plays. We've played with
Mm-hmm.
each other a lot, whether it be like practice or just playing like a pug together. We feel much more comfortable with each other, like, and our communication is so much better. We understand how to communicate with one another. So I think our chances of qualifying are definitely higher. Um, so we are all hoping we do qualify, but if we don't qualify, we've already discussed this. I needed to like communicate with them. I was like, "Are you all still like willing to stick together, even if we don't qualify? I understand
Mm-hmm.
it'll be difficult." And all of them straight away were like, "Yep, we're sticking together. We're not gonna give up." So that was like super reassuring to hear, because
Yeah.
I've been putting in a lot of work, and so have they. They've all been working so hard. So I was a bit like, "Oh, I'm scared that I'm putting in all this work and it's gonna crumble if we don't
Yeah.
qualify." So it's really nice to know that they still want to continue even if we don't succeed. Um, and the favourites to qualify, Team France,
Yeah,
I feel like are very, very strong. I feel like they definitely will.
yeah,
And I can't say for the others because not everyone has signed up, but the only one that I've seen signed up that I'm like, yeah, they will qualify is Team France. They're
yeah.
just super strong.
I mean, you might play them in is this weekend. Yeah, it is this weekend. You have Traded League, Female Masters.
Yes.
You've been
Yep.
invited there as well, and I think in general we've seen, like especially in 2024, more wider coverage of the women's circuit. Uh,
Yep.
how do you feel about that, and what do you think the circuit still needs that is still lacking? What are the main parts that you'd hope to see implemented in the second part of 2024?
Yeah, I think the like more coverage and more tournaments has been really positive
Mm-hmm.
and super fun to play. Everyone's been like calling for more tournaments for quite a while, so to see Trade It get involved is really nice. And then we also played the Elite Female Cup, I think it was
Yeah.
called. That was like hosted and arranged by Zaiwu's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. That like she's super involved in the scene and
Mm-hmm.
watches like a lot of games, including our games. She watches a lot of our games. Um, so yeah, it's nice that we're getting more coverage. But I think have like ESL Impact is like the biggest one and like the only big one,
Mm-hmm.
and like it only happens like twice a year. So I feel like having like another big like major event for women where there's like qualifiers to get into it. I think something like that, another thing like that would be really cool. Like maybe like seeing Blast do something like
Mm-hmm.
that, or like PGL doing something like that would be cool. But another thing that I've wanted for the female scene that I've also been quite vocal about is like a hub, like a Face It hub that's active for
Mm.
players, because there is one hub, but it's just inactive. It's
Well, one of the things that, for example, ESL Impact has that pretty much no other tournament on the circuit has is that they have a LAN tournament. Obviously, it is only twice a year. They had one in
yep.
Dallas. The next one is going to be in Stockholm. Uh, when are we gonna? Then the question is, when are we gonna see Elite Clan Violet on LAN? Because Epic LAN is this week as we're recording it, and then Assembly, which is Finnish LAN, is in 2 weeks. Can we expect to see Elite Clan Violet on LAN at some point in 2024, or is it something that we'll have to wait for next year?
2024, I'm not too sure. I really hope 2025 we can. I've voiced to the girls loads of time. Please, can we go Epic LAN? I really want to go. Um, I've watched a lot of like Epic LAN streams, like friends streaming it on
Yeah.
Twitch, and I've been sat at home like, oh, I really want to go, but I've never had like a team to go with. But like since joining Violet, like it just made me want to go to Epic LAN more. So hopefully we will be at an Epic LAN maybe next year, and also I would love to go to a Finnish LAN, and I know the Finnish girls would love to do that as well. So maybe next year, maybe this year, if something magically happens, I don't know. We'll see. But I think this year is like maybe next year. I think it's more possible we can turn up to a LAN because I think it would be a good experience for us like playing wise and also meeting each other and like
Mm-hmm.
building like more chemistry, and like it's good for like team building and stuff. And I really want to meet all of them because I really love all.
But maybe in Stockholm, ESL Impact Finals.
Maybe, possibly,
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
yeah.
Well, I think that's about it from the questions on my side. Do you have anything you still want to bring up or talk about?
Um, I don't think so. No, I just want to say thank you to like people cheering for us and like following our journey. We see all of you supporting and we all really appreciate it. And also, I just want to say how much I appreciate my teammates because I feel very, very lucky to be in this team because of how positive and how friendly it is and how hardworking they all are. So I feel extremely lucky and grateful to be in the position I do. So thank you, girls. Maplo.
And if the people out there want to see you or hear more about your team play, where can they find you?
Elite Clan G on Twitter. Violet Twitter account is no longer going to be used, but you can find us at Elite Clan GG on Twitter.
I'll make sure to put it in the description so you can check it out there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good luck on your upcoming matches and the ES Olympic qualifiers. And I'll keep an eye out on your results, and hopefully at Stockholm you'll be playing there, and I'm gonna be there doing interviews or content. So that can be our goal. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hopefully we'll be there. Thank you for having me.